What is going on, Rams family? We are back again with another video, and today we're breaking down the pass rush of the Rams front seven. These guys were attacking from all angles, racking up an impressive 9 sacks and giving Sam Darnold fits throughout this entire game. If the Rams are going to take that next step, they need their defensive players to step up, and that's exactly what they did against the Vikings this past Sunday. So on this play here, Kobe Turner has been one of the more dominant defensive tackles this season, consistently resetting the offensive line and blowing off timing in the opposing team's backfield. And on this particular play, the guard was grabbing on Turner's face mask, but his relentless motor was on full display. He fought through the guard and he still reached the quarterback. This is exactly the kind of fight that you want to see, playing through the whistle when games matter. So activating the system. So running this play here, just watching Kobe Turner firing off the ball. You see that right guard, he got his right hand on his face mask, but Turner was able to fight through and use a quick club move. The thing is, when you're playing a defensive tackle position, you got to find ways to be able to fight through because sometimes these refs don't see it. But looking at Turner bend the corner and find a way to close in and get to Sam Darnold. And with a player like Kobe Turner, he has absolutely been balling out all throughout this season, on top of having players like Jared Verse, Braden Fisk. The list goes on and on when it comes down to this defensive line. But seeing him all throughout this season, playing with the high motor, the bull rush, club moves, he can pretty much do it all when it comes down to that defensive tackle position. And the good thing about Turner that separates himself from everybody in the NFL is he's consistent, going out there and doing it week in and week out. And seeing the entire defensive line throughout the game, it seemed as though the Vikings didn't have an answer for any of it. And when you do generate pressure from that defensive tackle position, it brings the best out of the linebackers, the secondary, keeping the entire playbook open when it comes down to the defense. So this ended up being a dominating rep by Kobe Turner. Even though it was a hand to the face, he still went out there and got the sack, letting that offensive line know that they were going to be there all night. Here's another play of him being able to fight through the gridiron and get another sack. So running this play here, just watching Fisk, he's crashing inside that A gap. And with Turner, he's being a looper on the play. He does engage with that center, but watching the patience from him, looping around Fisk and getting to the quarterback again. And it's so funny seeing Jared Verse. He's over there trying to do those hero tackles, but that's the kind of results you get when everybody is hyped up on a defense. And usually, when you do have a defense where everybody is buying in from the secondary, the linebackers, as well as the defensive line, you can be able to pressure the quarterback and keep that defensive playbook wide open. And with Kobe Turner, this is not only the game where he got multiple sacks, and the film never lies, Rams family. He has been making a big time difference all throughout this season. And as they go further along in the postseason, I'm sure that he's going to continue to jump off the screen, going out there and having a knack to wreck games on any given rep. If you want to see some of the best Los Angeles Rams helmets and upgrade your man cave or your room, check out Green Gridiron's page in the description. These helmets are torch, available in mini or regular size with the visors, and they are built to last a lifetime. Click the link and use promo code JC Network for a discount on these amazing helmets. Now let's get back to the film session. Here's a play from Witherspoon where he gets away from the tight end and sacks the quarterback, forcing a fumble. Hopefully, Witherspoon has a speedy recovery as he was one of the defenders who really stood out on the field. Jared Verse, who has been one of the most disruptive defenders in the league, scooped up the fumble for a touchdown. This is exactly what you want to see from your defense in the postseason, going out there and keeping the momentum flowing. So we go ahead and split it. So zooming in on Witherspoon, going up against Hawkinson and getting slippery. Sometimes that's all it takes when it comes down to being able to get to the quarterback, laying a body on him, and he completely fumbling the ball. And the good thing is, when you see a guy like Jared Verse, not only is he a physical athlete, but he has that vision. If he knows that the ball is on the ground, he has the awareness to be able to scoop it up and quickly get to the end zone. And he got some speed too. It looked like he could play some running back. Not only that, but you see the athleticism from this player completely flipping in the end zone. This is the type of energy that you need when it comes down to the defense, making these back-breaking plays. Sometimes these offenses, they never recover. And it seemed throughout this entire game, the Vikings could not get the momentum going. That's why a lot of these defensive coordinators, they want you going out there and setting the tone early on, because usually when you can be able to get to that fourth quarter, that's where you can be able to get them where you want them. But seeing Witherspoon finding a way to be able to get slippery, get to Sam Darnold and get the sack, with Jared Verse picking it up and scoring a touchdown, was absolute fireworks. So this was another dominating rep by the defense, going out there and putting points on the board. Here's a play where the defenders swarm to the ball, getting their hands on the tight end and ripping the ball out. The Rams defense was stingy from the start, feeding off each other's energy for all 4 quarters. So we go ahead and run it. So running this play here, just watching Sam Darnold, it's so crazy when it comes down to this quarterback because for some reason I knew he was going to mop out towards the end of the season. He did have a good regular season, but he's the type of quarterback that freezes when games really matter. But he passes it to the tight end. They're hitting him up high as well as down low. And you see Quentin Lake, he's going out there and ripping at the ball. His knee was down on this play, but you love to see that kind of temperature when it comes down to the defense. Going in there, being red hot, and finding a way to be able to get the ball by any means necessary. And usually, when I do run film, I love to see dominant defenses. Going up against Sam Darnold, it was so bad this game that he might end up losing money when it's time for him to sign his contract next year. And that goes to show you how dominant this front seven has been, and the secondary going out there and making key plays from time to time. But ripping at the ball and being stingy is exactly what you want to see. You know your defense is in the zone when Neville Gallimore is out there feasting. He's one of the players who doesn't make these plays every game, but he flashes from time to time. His patience was key on this rep, using his eyes, looping around Michael Hoyt, and finding a way to close in to get to Sam Darnold. So let's run it. So watching Neville Gallimore and Michael Hoyt, they're running a stunt play. Michael Hoyt is being a crasher inside, and Neville Gallimore is being the looper. But the patience from this player, not going out there and being overly aggressive, getting into position, and completely roughing up Sam Darnold. And Neville Gallimore literally threw this player into the ground, just being physical. And usually, when you do line up against players like Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, you got to be on top of your game. But it was a great scheme that they dialed up. You've seen some man coverage. The safeties were getting busy, zone coverage, on top of this front seven going out there and blowing off timing. And if a defense can continue to keep playing like this, when you have an offensive line that has a weakness, the better defenses can go out there and expose it. And this is what they did throughout this whole season. So you have to give credit to the front office as well as these coaches for bringing in all of these players. Because when you're seeing a lot of these athletes that's making plays, not named Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, or Kobe Turner, it makes this entire defense scary to play against. But seeing Neville Gallimore going out there running that stunt and getting to the quarterback, it was another solid rep, knocking Sam Darnold in the dirt. So on this final play here, Braden Fisk shows that he has been such a dominant force this season as well. He's versatile enough to line up at both defensive tackle and defensive end positions. Watch his excellent hand technique and effort as he waits for the perfect moment to get to the quarterback, something he's been doing consistently all season long. So let's run it. So looking at this play here, just watching the footwork from Braden Fisk, you see that he's patient. I thought he was going to bull rush quickly, but he was trying to get into position. Watching the hand usage and keeping his distance from both of these offensive linemen, finding a way to be able to escape and locks in on the quarterback. Now, it didn't end up being one of those punishing kind of sacks. Sam Darnold ended up dipping it low because he knew that all three of those players were on the attack. And it is absolutely insane to know that you have players that you drafted in this past draft that are going back and forth for that Defensive Rookie of the Year award. And these are the results you get when you go out there and pick up dogs. And with the Minnesota Vikings, they are not a bad team, but usually when you do have a high powered offense and you got dogs in your front seven, it's hard to be able to beat a team like this. So with this entire team, they went out there and earned it. So with the Rams going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, that is going to be an absolute showdown. We know that there's explosive players on their offense as well as their defense, but the Rams has big time players too. It's going to come down to who wants it more, but everything is going to be established on that offensive line as well as the defensive line. Who's going to step up and make plays when it really matters? And I have always said that defense can take you to championships, but the offense got to go out there and win it. So I am definitely going to be tuned into this game for sure. So make sure y'all tap in with me because we're going to be running some more film as well as this off season. We're going to be breaking down a lot of these players in the NFL draft. So we got a lot of creating that we're going to be doing coming up. So comment below and let me know what you guys think about this front seven pass rush and what does this team need to do to be able to take that next step. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss out on fire updates and the best football film sessions on YouTube. All right, Rams family. Talk to y'all soon. Gone.